Hey guys, what is up? It is the Fast Break Report here, bringing you guys another vlog. Stayed home from work today. I was up all night last night. My fucking neck hurt, everything. I could not sleep. And by the time I did fall asleep, it was like 3:30 in the morning, so. Anyway, that's not why we're here. I have to make a video admitting that I was wrong, okay? And I don't make many of these, but I do make them. And it is about none other than Shaedon Sharpe, okay? Through 11 games, Shaedon Sharpe is shooting 52% from the field, 44% from three, 72% from the free throw line. He's scoring 9 points a game, averaging less than 1 turnover a game, and he's getting about 3 rebounds a game, half an assist, almost half a steal, almost 2 defensive rebounds. His effective field goal percentage is almost like 60%, which is pretty insane, on 21 minutes per game. Now, listen, man, I will say this. The reason I was so low on Shaedon Sharpe is because going into the draft, a lot of people were judging his performance, including myself, based on AAU tape and high school tape. And I'm very, very skeptical, specifically of AAU, because it seemed like the stuff that most people were ranting and raving about was the idea that he was playing so well on the AAU level, and I was just kind of like, well, AAU is not, you know, if you've played AAU before, you'll know that defense is like a foreign concept to most players playing that. Like, to me, AAU has become organized street ball, okay? Ever since, like, Julian Newman came onto the scene and all these other guys, AAU has just become basically organized street ball. And in fact, like, every NBA player, to some extent, has played AAU in the past. And I have to say that I am very impressed. You know, I watched a lot of Trailblazers games. I haven't been watching them recently because I've been trying to watch the bigger teams that are not performing well. Utah's a surprise, even Portland's a surprise. But the aspect of Shaedon Sharpe's game that really impressed me the most is, and I said it after a couple games, like just watching his first couple games, it's his defense. His defense has impressed me a lot because with Shaedon Sharpe, I didn't see much of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I saw that when he tried, like, yeah, he could do it, but it was just a matter of, like, his motor. You know what I'm saying? Like, how motivated is he to come into the NBA and play defense, right? And be a student of the game more than a guy who, you know, basically thinks he knows it all. And there was one game that really, really changed my opinion on Shaedon Sharpe was, I think, his first or second game in the NBA. He got lost on a three-point shot. Like, he was just chasing his defender around. He was ball watching a lot. And then he sat down on the bench next to Nasir Little. And Nasir Little talked to him for about, I don't know, maybe 2 minutes. You know, like he actually made Shaedon Sharpe sit down next to him. And I assume that it was about defense, because I think Nasir Little has the potential to be a good defensive player. I think he's a solid defensive player as it is. And it seemed like he said something to Shaedon Sharpe that really stuck with him. And now Shaedon Sharpe is fighting over screens, he's boxing out on his guy, he's not standing in the middle of the paint while his guy's on the three-point line. Like, I just remember the second half of that game, Shaedon Sharpe just sticking on his man like fucking white on rice. He would not let his man score. And I was like, you know what? He's gonna do this. Like, he's gonna actually be a solid NBA player. Now, I think the shot selection still needs a little work, but he's getting there. I think the shot creation in itself needs a little work. You know, like, there's certain things about his game that obviously I think still need to be ironed out. But my doubts about Shaedon Sharpe being a solid NBA player are officially gone. You know, watching him play, I'm just like, you know, he's an athletic freak. I mean, he can jump higher than anybody I think I've ever seen. Like, Michael Jordan had that air about him where it's like he jumped in the air and it just felt like he was there forever. You know what I'm saying? They called him his airness for a reason. And I'm in no way comparing Shaedon Sharpe to Michael Jordan because that's an insane claim. But Shaedon Sharpe has that air about him, literally, and figuratively, where it's like he goes up in the air and it just feels like he's there forever. And, when he's got uber athleticism, it's obvious that he's making a commitment on the defensive end. And I'm really interested to see just how much of his game actually improves. Ball handling is still not his forte, right? Like, he's one of those guys that I don't expect to be a point guard anytime soon. But if he's gonna develop a shot creation aspect of his game at some point. You can tell it's something he likes to do. You can tell, he's not one of these players that's gonna catch and shoot. You know what I'm saying? He's one of those guys that likes to have the ball in his hand. He's one of those guys that likes to create shots. It's just a matter of perfecting it. And from what I've seen, he's already got the basis to be a solid NBA player. A lot of Pacers fans are obviously happy that we took Benedict Mathurin. And you know what? I'm happy we took Benedict Mathurin. Benedict Mathurin is, right now, number 2 in the NBA in Rookie of the Year voting. But as the season goes on, I expect Shaedon Sharpe to be in the conversation. And that's a lot for me to say, man, because I was really high on Keegan Murray. I was really high on Jaden Ivey. But if Shaedon Sharpe gets more minutes and gets more opportunity, which the Blazers have a winning record at the moment, so I don't really know how much of that opportunity is actually going to come. But I really feel like from what I've seen of Shaedon Sharpe already, if he were to get the opportunity to get more touches, and he's started 4 games already this year, it's possible he becomes a starter. You know what I'm saying? It's a very real possibility. Over Nasir Little or somebody like that. But I feel like if Shaedon Sharpe went to any other team, right? Like if he went to a team like Orlando or, a team that really needs like a scorer type of guy, I really feel like he would maybe be in the top 3 in Rookie of the Year voting. Like he's got the potential to actually do that. And, it could happen by the end of the year, man. I know Pacers fans, like I said, even Pacers fans have kind of agreed with me that, it's a good thing we took Benedict Mathurin and that we didn't take Shaedon Sharpe. Shaedon Sharpe is still a project. Benedict Mathurin looks more NBA ready, but I'm going to say something that Pacers fans aren't going to like. But in the long run, Shaedon Sharpe could maybe be a more complete player than Benedict Mathurin could. They are both uber athletic. Shaedon Sharpe just seems like he has more of a free-flowing game than Benedict Mathurin does. And I think Benedict Mathurin's fucking great. I'm not knocking Benedict Mathurin at all. I just am saying that in 5 to 6 years down the road, I really wouldn't be surprised if Shaedon Sharpe and Benedict Mathurin are on the same level, or if Benedict Mathurin or if Shaedon Sharpe is slightly better than Benedict Mathurin. It will all depend on how his development goes, but either way, they're still solid picks. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still think Benedict Mathurin was a great pick for the Pacers. I still think Shaedon Sharpe was, I mean, if you ask me, nobody could have known, I think, that Shaedon Sharpe would have turned out to be the player he's become. I really think there was a giant question mark about him. I do think he was, in retrospect, I guess in hindsight, I do think he was picked too high. But he seems to be developing rather quickly and adapting to the NBA game rather quickly. So, all I'm saying is, and I know Blazers fans are going to be like, holy shit, he said that he thinks Shaedon Sharpe is going to be better than Benedict Mathurin. And I kind of do, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just think if I'm putting my gut feeling towards it, I just think Shaedon Sharpe is going to get more opportunity as time goes on. I do not know, like, if Damian Lillard leaves for whatever reason or just decides he doesn't want to be a part of Portland anymore, I just feel like Shaedon Sharpe is going to get a lot of opportunity that Benedict Mathurin might not get immediately in Indiana. And I just think that could help his development a lot. So, I admit when I'm wrong, man. You know, I made a video recently about the Toronto Raptors, admitting I was wrong about Pascal Siakam, and I got to do it for Shaedon Sharpe too. Shaedon Sharpe has been very impressive to me for a guy who I really thought was just, I really questioned his motivation. And it would appear as if he's clearly motivated enough to play this on the highest level and be a student of the game rather than being a know-it-all of the game, you know? So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Tell me what you guys think about this down below in the comment section below. A like helps me out. Subscribe if you guys want to see more on the Fast Break Report. And I'm out of this motherfucker. Peace, guys.